Welcome to the next lesson, Annual Goals and Goal Detail Pages. You can find the goal-related pages starting on page 5. The number one reason people fail to achieve their goals is a simple lack of visibility. In other words, they don't have a system for reviewing their goals on a regular basis. So inevitably, they forget about them. That's why we put these pages at the very beginning of the planner. This is a way for you to focus on your goals for the entire quarter and better ensure that you're actually following through and achieving them. Let's start with the page that says Annual Goals. It's on page 5. This is where you're going to write down your goals for the entire year. We recommend that you shoot for 7 to 10 annual goals. Quick warning, too many goals is a recipe for failure. In our research, we found that when you have more than 10 goals, you begin to lose focus and it hinders the process of goal achievement. Also, don't underestimate the power of written goals. According to Dr. Gail Matthews at Dominican University, the mere act of writing down your goals increases the likelihood of achieving those goals by a whopping 40%. That's a huge advantage. Now, you can either write down all of your goals, including the ones you've already accomplished for this year, or just the ones that you have yet to complete for the remainder of the year. It's completely up to you. Regardless, in the far right-hand column, indicate which quarter you plan to achieve that goal. We recommend that you shoot for no more than 2 to 3 goals per quarter. Again, 7 to 10 per year, 2 to 3 per quarter. So, let's flesh out these goals. Turn to page 6. These are the goal detail pages. There are 10 of them. These are designed to help you go deeper with each of your goals. Note that a goal may be expressed as either an achievement goal or a habit goal. But let's start with achievement goals. Achievement goals are focused on one-time accomplishments. These can be things like paying off your credit cards, improving your personal best for a half marathon, or finishing your first novel. Let's go through the form together. Start by writing out your goal summary and make sure it conforms to the SMARTER framework. You may want to take notes on this so you get it down. SMARTER is an acronym. Your goal needs to be, first of all, specific. It can't be general or vague. You want to identify exactly what you want to accomplish. So a bad example of that would be, I want to learn photography. Is that specific? Not really. A better example would be complete John Gringo's Fundamentals of Photography course. It also needs to be measurable. That's what the M stands for. Quantify the result you want at a number, a dollar figure, a percentage, or some other measurement to make it measurable. A bad example would be earn more money. A better example, earn $10,000 more this year than I earned last year. Then it needs to be action-oriented. That's what the A stands for. Don't start the goal with a to-be verb. Use an action verb. So a bad example would be more consistent in blogging. A better example, write 2 blog posts per week. Next, it needs to be risky. You have to make sure your goal is in your discomfort zone. It's got to be a little bit risky. A bad example would be to increase sales by 3%. A better example, of course, depending on your industry, would be increase sales by 15%. You want this goal to make you twitch a little bit. You want to be a little bit uncomfortable. Those goals are going to be much easier to accomplish according to a great body of goal achievement research. The T in SMARTER stands for time keyed. Make sure your goal has a deadline. Unless it does, it's just an aspiration. A bad example of that would be lose 20 pounds. A better example, lose 20 pounds by April 1st, 2020. The E stands for exciting. Make sure your goal is personally exciting and compelling to you, something that gets you pumped up. A bad example would be take 1 week of vacation this summer. Maybe you've done that every summer. Maybe it doesn't really get you excited that much anymore. It's just something you do. A better example of an exciting goal would ignite your imagination, something that really gets you excited. Take a 30-day sabbatical this June. Wouldn't that be fun? The second R stands for relevant. Make sure your goal is appropriate to your season of life. This next example assumes the mother of 3 with a newborn baby. A bad example for her would be go back to school and get my MBA. Why? Well, it's probably not the best season for her to be doing that. A better example would be complete an online course in strategic planning. Now, you need to indicate which life domain this goal pertains to by checking this box here. This is an easy way to make sure you're setting goals for domains other than your vocation or your work domain. By the way, you can check more than one of these boxes if it makes sense. Next is key motivations. Write down your top 3 key motivations. These should be short statements about why you want to achieve your goal or what's really at stake. Then you want to rank those motivations. Which one is most important? Which one is second most and third most important? Put a number here in this left-hand column. Then the next steps box. Here you can list the next steps you need to take in order to reach your goal. If your goal meets the SMARTER criteria, it's going to be risky. That means it's in your discomfort zone, which is exactly where it should be. However, and this is very important, your next steps should be squarely in your comfort zone. Let that sink in. Often this takes the form of just a simple action, something that just moves you incrementally forward towards your goal. For example, doing some research on the web or reading an article on a book or making a phone call, sending an email, scheduling an appointment. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you have to plan out everything before you get started. That's usually just a fancy way to procrastinate. All you need to document here are the next few steps you intend to take this quarter, something to get you started. It doesn't have to be all the steps, just the next 1 or 2 steps are sufficient. Then is the reward. This is how you're going to celebrate. It's important to decide what you want to do to celebrate achieving your goal. Maybe it's buying yourself something that you always wanted. For me, I just put buy myself a PlayStation. But make sure it's something that you really want, something to motivate you. You could also give yourself an experience. For example, take your spouse out to a really special dinner, or throw yourself a party and invite some friends. Or maybe you want to go to a concert and hear one of your favorite artists, or go fly fishing or skydiving. Do something really fun that gets you excited about achieving your goal. Remember, it doesn't have to be something expensive, but it should be motivational. Rewards play an important role in helping us feel the value of setting and achieving our goals. They also will remind you of your success and impress them on your nervous system so that you're more confident and eager to take on new challenges. For achievement goals, you can pretty much disregard this streak tracker section at the bottom of the page. That's something we're going to use in habit goals. Let's turn over to the opposite page and look at an example of a habit goal. Now, instead of a one-time accomplishment, habit goals involve regular, ongoing activity. Maybe it's a daily meditation practice or a weekly date night with your spouse, as it is for me here. Or maybe it's getting lunch with a friend. There's no firm deadline because you're not trying to accomplish just one thing. You're trying to maintain a practice. Now, habit goals need to conform to the SMARTER framework too, but the time-keyed attribute is a little bit different. First, start by writing out the habit you want to instill. Start with an action verb. It could be something like write 200 words per day, or walk for 30 minutes a day, drink 90 ounces of water a day, pray for 10 minutes a day. Now add some detailed information. This is where the habit goal is a little bit different than the achievement goal. In the case of a habit goal, make sure it has a start date, a habit frequency, a time trigger, and a streak target. The habit frequency refers to how often you'll do this habit. The time trigger is when you want to do the habit. The more specific you can make this time, the better, and the more consistent you'll be. The start date is the date that you'll first start the habit. That's pretty easy to understand. But then there's the streak target, and that's how many times you want to do this habit or this behavior before you would consider it installed. In other words, before it's on autopilot. So if it's a daily habit, you should start with at least 70 times. Here's why. The best goal research says it takes an average of 66 days to instill a daily habit. Here are a few examples. Write 200 words per day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. starting on January 1st and complete a 70-day streak. Or walk for 30 minutes per day, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. starting on January 1st and complete a 70-day streak. Or drink 90 ounces of water every day, 7 days a week, starting on January 1st, completing a 90-day streak. Fill out my new daily pages every day as part of my morning ritual for 90 days, starting on March 1st, 2020. Now you're going to indicate which life domain this pertains to. You can have more than one if that would be helpful to you. You also want to write down your key motivations. You need to write down your key motivations for whatever habit goal you have, and then rank those motivations just like we did previously in this left-hand column. Next steps. Here you can list the next steps you need to take to reach your goal. With habit goals, these are typically minimal. If you're starting an exercise habit, maybe you need to purchase a gym membership or some running shoes. But you could also leave this section blank, that's totally fine. Just like habit goals, decide how you're going to celebrate once you achieve that goal. Now, here's something that's different about the habit goal. We do use this section here, the streak tracker. Every time you complete the habit, make a hash mark. M1 over here indicates month 1 of the quarter, M2 the second month, and M3 the third month. So if your habit starts on the 10th, then you'd put your first hash mark over here where it says 10. Go through this process for each of your goals. Even if you've written your goals down in previous quarters, it's best to write them down again. Why? Because the research shows that the mere act of writing them down has a way of increasing your goal focus, your commitment, and your follow-through. Again, notice that there are 10 goal pages. We recommend that you should shoot for 7 to 10 goals each year. You don't have to fill up all of the pages, and you may have less pages as the year goes on. You can actually add new goals, by the way, as you complete the old ones. Just don't have more than 7 to 10 at any one time. Now, let's turn to the next lesson, monthly calendar pages.